Okay, hello folks. And welcome. Or should I say welcome back? Hey Tutu. To this highly unplanned stream once more. Let's see if we can get the audio levels to be what we want them to be. And let's get the starting visual out of the way. We are once again looking at the demo level. I can hear you clearly. Excellent. Thank you. As always, let me know if that changes. Today we're gonna do some of the last planned things here in this level. I'm like truly actually approaching a place now where I'm kind of considering this place to be almost done. I'm sure there's gonna be a little bit of fix up here and there, but I don't really have anything planned after today's thing. I mean, yes, there's like one or two things. Let's actually look here at. We worked on this building last time. This weird space building on legs. And I actually mentioned in one of the screenshots that I posted on Discord that these power pillars aren't textured. So immediately I found something that actually still needs to be done here. We're not gonna do that today. But yeah, I think this came out kind of nicely. Probably gonna put some like dynamic objects and things here. I mean, we can even do it here in the game. Why not? You know, stuff like that. But just post them a bit nicer in the level editor, things like that. But this thing is looking pretty nice. You might be wondering why is this building exactly like this. I covered a little bit of that actually in the previous stream. And there are some like lore reasons why these people would have these kind of like space buildings here, shall we say. Things that look like they could be used in sort of like the vacuum of space. And what Eno means and things like that. I'm not gonna spoil them here. You're gonna have to quite simply play the final game to figure that out. But yeah, I'm kind of happy with how this turned out in the end. And that was perhaps like the largest remaining piece that needed to be modeled for this level. Hey Jake, welcome back. What's happening? So I don't think we have like anything really huge left to do. We do have one thing though, and it's something that has been with us ever since the very beginning. We actually drove past it on the way in here, so let's go have a look. We're gonna do a little bit of work on that today. I'm probably not gonna finish this today, but get it into a better place. These things here. Now, what in the world is this? This weird looking tower with whoa, that's a fast camera. Weird looking tower with these horns on it, right? We have one over here. Has kind of just been sitting here for a very long time. We have these cables that kind of keep it upright. These cables don't have any collisions or anything like that. This is probably one of the more confusing parts of the whole demo level and has been for some time. So we have one here. We have another one over here. Looks about the same. It's probably just copy pasted here. And then we have a third one actually out here on the plane like this. And yeah, they're not really textured. This is just the standard sort of checkerbox texture covering these things currently. And again, there is a lore reason for having these guys here, but they are clearly not final, shall we say? If you put a scale mannequin here, you can see that they're kind of like a little bit awkward in size. They're not quite to scale even. It's like a very large thing that doesn't really look like anything actual. In addition to that, I think this area here is kind of boring. Like it's a little boring. Nothing really happens here. There's just like this big plain here, and I don't really have anything against plains. We have some pretty open areas here next to it, and here as well. But I don't think we necessarily want to have all of these areas quite this open. So I was thinking, like, as we do something about this weird tower thing here, we would pimp up this area a little bit, make it a little bit more interesting. So that would be today's thing on stream, and I have prepared this work a little bit in advance. Whoa, we are off in the distance. I think this is the area here, isn't it? Right, it's here. Here we go. Woo! We have this other tower thing here, right? So here's the one that we just looked at. I just haven't exported, so this new stuff isn't visible in the game yet. We have this other tower here, which is kind of like, looks like it is slightly more to scale. If we have a person standing here, it's also, you know, more detailed and whatnot. It also has these loudspeakers here on the top, and it has a particle effect there. It just blinks. Right. So that would be one tower. We actually have another one here. You can see this one is slightly different. This one is slightly different. It has like a tripod. It has some weird machinery there, and like a dish. And it also has these loudspeakers here on the top. And of course, I'm sure all of you have realized at this point that this is kind of like made out of pieces. So I made sort of like a kit for these things, and you can kind of like put them together like this to have a little bit of variety with these towers. These look neat. Well, thank you. Yeah, I spent some time yesterday listening to the excellent audiobook adaptation of the musical adaptation of War of the Worlds by Jeff Wayne, and modeling this was quite relaxing actually. Yeah, they're not textured as you can see yet. I'm not sure we're gonna texture today. I might do that off stream. I mean, it's kind of like the next thing I have to do for these guys. I think they're mainly fully modeled at this point. But I'm not sure we're gonna texture them tonight. We might. We'll see. At least get started on it. But yeah, this is what I'm kind of thinking. So without going like too much into spoiler detail here, they have these pillars with loudspeakers. And like a blinking light at the top for one reason or another, and based on where these things are actually standing, they might look a little different. Like here, when it's sort of like arguably higher up, maybe it would have like a tripod, and then it has some sort of like communication dish here. I even created one which I don't think I have used yet. Let's see if we take that transform and add one of these guys here. It has this kind of like extra features here that we can add, and we can even duplicate that, move it around. Just make these kind of like communication pillar thingies like this. Maybe we would actually turn this thing on its head like that. You know, stuff like that. And And yeah, this thing here, this place here, which I just added a tree here for scale, really. But I think we need to make this a little more interesting. Now it's just like a big field, and we have this tower here in the middle of it. I think I'm gonna use one of the existing cliffs here. Gonna see if I can find one that kind of fits this area nicely. And then we're gonna spruce this area up a little bit, make it fit nicely with this tower here. And yeah, here we have the thing in Blender. So we have a few kind of like pieces here. We have the, let's see, we have the main mast. Is that one? There we go. There's the main mast. We have the tripod. Kind of like a tripod ground support, which is, yeah, they're essentially all placed here on at the origin, so they can be kind of posed nicely in the world. We have this whatever the hell this is. I just fancied making something like this. It kind of goes on the pillar. We have the panel we just looked at. There's the loudspeakers, so you can have like a number of those. Ground support for the mast itself, which kind of like fits. Like these three objects are kind of like just meant to be at the same transform essentially. But you can just like you can bring this thing down if you want to. You can just make it like shorter, like that. And same thing with this. Just move it down, and regardless of where the ground is, you just put one of these like ground support things. Right? That thing. No, come on. Can I select it? Thank you. Just like move that into place, right where the ground is, and then it can kind of like penetrate the ground if it needs to. All of that is fine. We have some sort of fuse box, which you can use. I think I actually have one of them here, don't I? Yes, that sort of thing. There's the dish. There's the antenna. Oh right, the antenna is a little special actually. You can see here that it has these waypoints. Like what are these? And rendering very, very thin things, as I'm sure many of you know, is kind of tricky, right? So what I do is I have something called a wire renderer. And the wire renderer is used in a few places actually already in this demo mission. So they're not visible in the game or in the editor. Some of them are, depending on how they're set up, they might be visible as these like yellow lines that you can see here. But we also have wire renderers that just aren't visible in the editor at all. It's just me being lazy, right? Essentially, for example, these like wires that connect to the elevator down there, right? But these are not normal meshes, because normal meshes would be very, very kind of flickery and like blink out of existence at distance, right? You can clearly like see. If it comes through on the YouTube video, you can clearly see these wires here being connected to these cranes, right? You can even see these wires going down here. So there's a little bit of a hack or a trick in the shader editor. I think this thing uses it as well. Yes, this mast here also has 3 of these cables or wires. There's a little bit of a trick in the shader where this object essentially like refuses to get thinner than a single pixel, and then what it does instead when it gets very, very far away is that it applies a little bit of transparency, so it just makes it look like, okay, that cable is very, very far, and that's how you get these. I mean, they can still flicker a little bit, and especially with completely straight wires, you can have some issues here. But I'm using one of these wires here for this antenna. So in particular this part here. And that means that in the editor you can't actually see them, but you can see the the waypoints where that wire is connected to, right? So you should see that antenna, even though we move very far from the mast, which I know is a little tricky to see, but maybe we can manage to make it here. You can just ever so slightly see the antenna there still. Yeah, that's how these things are done as well. But we're gonna remove that thing. I need MSAA. Yeah, I kind of do, I guess. I kind of do. Thing is though that I don't really want to depend on MSAA. Because yeah, you know, if I want to move to like a deferred render at some point, then MSAA is a bit tricky. But yeah, MSAA would fix that, sure. Absolutely. Anyway, that's why this looks like this currently. But yeah, this is also a kind of module here, which we can move around. So that's that. But let's maybe start by getting rid of this old one. So I'm gonna get rid of those curved paths. That would be those support cables to the old one. I'm gonna get rid of that one, and we're gonna get rid of this one. Yeah, and I'm gonna actually, this is that's a quick mesh, C4C, blah blah blah. I'm just looking, did I have a separate one here? I don't have it anymore, but I have one here. Is this a separate like instance or completely separate mesh? AAB. Okay, so that's a separate mesh. Yeah, we can just take this and get rid of it completely. So we could delete this object just normally. But what we actually want to do here is, because this is a quick mesh in Blender, we want to delete the data files. And it says that this operation cannot be undone. Well, it can, because it's in version control, but blah blah blah. And if you choose to delete the file, you should delete the quick mesh object immediately afterwards. Yes, let's do that, and then delete the thing. Because that's like the data file that is actually managed by the editor here, right? This quick mesh is, yeah, that's this thing that I modeled yesterday. I just moved it underground. Yeah, nothing to see there. No need to pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. So all of these objects together form this mast. Then we have this particle system. Then we have the quick mesh, which I will eventually get rid of when I'm sure I don't need that anymore. Video compression is also kind of destroying that cable fidelity. You mean the compression in the main menu? Or right, yeah, you mean the compression here on YouTube? Yeah. Yeah, probably is. Well, you're just gonna have to play the game to see the full fidelity of the cables, right? Yeah, it has to be said though that you know, Jake has a point in that this not only covers you know, wires. It's essentially like everything that has a lot of like edges and thin parts. I have this older project Slide, which has a railing that just like always makes my eyes bleed when I look at it. Those things can't really like easily be solved by using like a mesh renderer like this, because like this, it only really works on these kind of long, sort of like tube-like meshes, right? So you can have just straight lines, or you can have these kind of like curved lines. So this is controlled by these points. Like this, it's a Bezier curve that we then construct the mesh object along, but still it can't really work on anything that's not like a tube, essentially, right? For example, it wouldn't work on this fence here. Luckily, this fence is not super like glitchy and flickery. There's a little bit of flickering here if we like move the camera very close or very sort of slowly, right? because it's actually a pretty thin object. So MSAA would definitely help with these. Cool. Okay. So yeah, I already kind of posed this here, just as a test, and it kind of looked pretty nice. Wonder if we should use one of those panels, or one or two of those panels here with this one. Where are those? Okay, they're under the antenna, so that's fine. And then we have the wire renderer. Yes. Okay, good. So if we take all of these and that one, we can kind of move the thing around, and everything moves along with it. That's nice. So I was thinking that like there would be a little bit of a cliff here as well, a little bit of a higher plateau here in the middle or something like that, and then this pillar would be standing on top of that, which actually has some like slight gameplay implications as well, that you can't necessarily just like come up here and drive straight here. I kind of want to break that straight line a little bit for the gameplay. You can still come here and you can drive in a straight line along this road. But I think I want to kind of slightly break up this path here, which kind of doesn't work with some of the narrative stuff I have planned all that well. I mean, nothing breaks, but it kind of like the pacing is not right? So where would we put those cliffs then? I think it probably goes here, right? And then let's figure out which one we're actually going to use. So we have the old cliffs. The old cliffs are still in the resource pack. I need to actually just completely remove this. You can see that this is the thing. It's the old cliff, and then we have the new cliff, which is like exactly the same basically, but just tweaked and fiddled with. And I'm thinking you can probably see the difference here between these two. So yeah, that's not the cliff that we want here. What do we want to use? Do we want to use... Yeah, this is probably not the correct cliff either. What about the third one? I want to make it kind of small, right? Something like this, and then of course we will fill up this internal space there. Something like this might work. That's a little maybe boring though. Oh, it's also the same cliff that we have here, right? Yeah, cliff 3R, so let's not use the same cliff right next to this one. That would be kind of silly. Yeah, I don't really like the end of that one. What about this? Yeah, this could kind of work maybe. Like this cliff is not the same as this cliff. This is, what is this? This is 4. That's number 4, and this would be number 5. And where do we use number 5s in this level? Let's copy that name, and then we run a JQ query on select objects of a certain type. Bloops. Okay. Yes, selected that one. Yeah, we use it here. This is the place it was originally designed for, like modeled for. We also have one over here. That's kind of far away, so that's okay. Then I think we probably have one here, don't we? We have a fourth one. Oh, it's up here, right. It's up here as a background object. Yeah, that's completely fine. So number 5 would actually fit here kind of nicely. Sweet. Sweet, sweet. Right, we have some items, some objects in there that we need to kind of move a bit. That one actually it was just added there for scale as well. And the alarm tower panel needs to be moved as well. Yeah. Let's move these guys out of the way slightly. I can just delete one of those. We're gonna bring it back later, probably. So, okay, you can already see that, like, this would make a pretty good jump if someone wanted to do that, which is of course completely fine by me if people want to use these for jumps. But yeah, there's several things I like about this place here. Like, this cliff was obviously not designed for this place, but I like the fact that it kind of gets very sort of flush with the ground here. That's really nice. How does it continue here? It continues that far. Okay. I don't think we're gonna want to necessarily let it continue much further than that, but yeah, that's kind of neat. I also like these here. I think we should actually probably dig the ground here, make this a little more kind of dramatic. Where do we then put the actual tower there? That's a completely different thing. Right, so where is this? This is in load. Wow, loudspeaker, not load speaker towers. That's embarrassing. I'm gonna move this guy here, and then that is number 2. So it goes there, something. What? Clearly done something stupid here. That doesn't matter. Just gonna bring this up. And I think it was designed to kind of go on this part here, so I'm gonna move it here. And then maybe consider a little bit, you know, which way would it actually be pointing. Something like that, maybe. I don't know. So it's fun to imagine, like, okay, what is this communicating with? Now let's have it pointing at the base there. Actually, I added a mast here for this one as well, which stands next to this thing here. It's the same mast that we can see up here on the refinery. It just doesn't have any of those supports. Yeah, I guess these things would kind of like form some sort of network or something. So that's fun to imagine what that would be like. Okay, so I'm assuming that the grass here is actually this object. So if we make the cliff actually block that object, I think we're gonna have a problem. So if we copy the path of that, and then we add it here, we can see that, oh no, that's not good. So okay, we have grass on top of it, which we probably want to have, but we also have this grass here behaving kind of very, very poorly. Very poorly here, and you can sort of see that the grass mesh tessellation is going completely crazy here. So of course the right thing here would most likely be to have another grass object that covers this area more or less, and which we only use to paint grass on top of the cliff with. And then we have this thing not do that. I'm thinking that's probably what we're going to do here. But for the time being, let's just turn off grass rendering completely and only concern ourselves with the terrain. So let's raise the terrain here, start raising this up, and maybe we can use a terrain carver if we need to, but I'm gonna try to do it by hand here first at least. I think this should be super tricky to get right. And I also don't think that we are going to want to have terrain very high up on this cliff. We're gonna leave the cliff top there without any grass, without any terrain. Terrain can kind of reach up a bit here onto this guy, but not like super high. And you might wonder, okay, what does that matter? Well, it matters in the sense that where the terrain ends, there's going to be a visible seam, right? Like we can see here, like this thing that kind of snakes its way around the cliff. And so you don't necessarily want to have that seam be in a very visible place, especially when we consider that, like in the game, we are going to use pre-tessellated terrain. So if we move like slightly further away, you can kind of like pretty clearly see where the terrain LODs switch. Here, for example, on this one, you can very clearly see the seam there when we are slightly further away from the cliff. As we go closer to it, it becomes smoother. But if we go farther away from it, you can like see a very kind of like dark pattern here. And the grass covers some of that up, but not all of it. So that's like a bad thing with having the ground reach up very high, very high up on these meshes. However, if we don't have grass, or I keep saying grass, I mean ground. If we don't have ground, then we lose the ability to paint and sculpt. So ground is handy in the sense that you can just fiddle with the colors more directly than you can with the meshes. Or well, actually, I do have like a mesh painting feature in this engine. You need a special material on your mesh for that to actually work, but it can be used, and you can paint on any mesh actually you want. That system is kind of crappy, so I don't really use it for anything. I did use it in the previous incarnation of the project for a few things here and there, and it does have its uses. But I haven't used it in Traction Point so far because it's a little limited. So you can typically just create a texture and a material for a specific place in a level, for example, and then use that, and that typically gives you a better result. It could be improved, of course. All right, so what we want to achieve here is something like this, where you can it's kind of tricky to see where the seam goes. It's not tricky here, and that tells me that this terrain here needs to get a little brighter. So let's take the materials. Here we go, gravel. I think it's sand is typically the one that I use to make things brighter. So let's paint a little bit of sand here. You can see, yeah, we're kind of like erasing the border there. Actually works pretty well for things like that. And then when you can no longer tell where the mesh begins and the ground ends, then my work is done. And typically you can't, or at least not without grass, you can't erase that border completely, but you can make it pretty difficult to see. And then you put some grass on top of it, and then you truly you can't see it anymore. Okay, so this looks pretty cool. We're approaching from here. And then you see this. And of course, like, we need to kind of consider with the rest of the cliffs here. They're kind of like, they're low here on the left, and then they're rising that way. So it makes sense that this is that as well, and we have this cliff here as well. That looks pretty nice. This also looks pretty nice, especially with this almost like a trail of like rocks and things kind of falling down here towards the road. More ramps to play with. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Let's play this and see what we have. So yeah, now the grass is gonna be completely borked here. No reason to worry about that. We'll do grass separately. Oh. Yeah, see, this is the typo that I fixed. Loudspeaker tower 3, curb path, wire renderer 1, could not find data block. Load speaker tower. Yeah. Of course not. Oh yeah, here we can see these things in the game. I think they look kind of neat. Gonna look even neater when we have them rendered. But anyway, let's see here. So if we plonk down a vehicle here, scout. Let's put the volume down a little bit. Yeah, those warning texts kind of annoy me, so let's clear the debug messages. There we go. Yeah, this looks kind of neat. I think it fits quite well. And it also, like, it can't be in the way. We can't change the play space too much, since we have all of the missions scripted and everything. But we can change it a little bit. It's one of those things that we can actually change. Yeah, this is gonna be a new favorite for many people to like just jump off, I'm sure. But I'm gonna add quite a lot of trees, I think, around this thing, because I want the reveal of this lift station, especially if you're driving along the road. I want the reveal to be kind of like, you know, cool looking. And of course, since the mission starts here along the road, almost driving back to our old scout there, but if you're coming from here and you're driving along the road, because that is sort of like the most likely route for people to take, and then their mission is to drive to the lift station, it's still like slightly hidden behind that place now. You have to like go around here and Let's see how you get to it. Yeah, I think it's gonna work fine. Here we can, by the way, you can see the difference between light mapped cliffs and non-light mapped cliffs. Like these things here are clearly like slightly more, well, they're slightly darker first of all, but they're also slightly more greenish, which of course comes from the fact that they're picking up the surrounding colors. Like this is very kind of bright gray. These are picking up the surrounding light much more, and so that's why it doesn't necessarily look quite in place. We turn off the light maps. Now we can see that now every cliff is very gray. But yeah, anyway, as a very first gameplay test, I think this works quite well. Let's go with it. Okay, so I don't think we have any suitable grass objects here to actually use that would cover this area as well. So we probably just have to create one specifically for this cliff. Just like I have here. I have a small grass object here covering just that cliff. So if we turn on the grass again here in the editor. So here we can see now with grass, you have to go kind of far for the grass to disappear, but this kind of like edge between the mesh and the ground is much more difficult to see. You can still see it if you know what you're looking for, of course, but it's much more difficult to see when the grass is there. So that's of course what I want to achieve here as well. Okay, now we have a lot of grass here that's now just completely inside this thing. Actually, it's not that much. It's not that much. But maybe I can still clean it up a little bit. Because it's very unnecessary to have any grass here inside the thing. I do want a lot of grass here on the outside though. Yeah. Yeah, you can see that now that this thing is in shadow, we're going to have to play with the ambient levels a little bit on this grass. But yeah, let's not worry about that too much because I think I'm gonna lower this area quite a bit, like I mentioned. So, okay. Where is this mast going to be? Because that kind of affects where we're gonna want to put grass as well. I'm just gonna move that to the bottom there. So we have this thing here. I think this should be kind of a little bit of a gravel pit. Where is it supposed to stand? Oh, and now we're not moving those. Yeah, need to move all of that together. That's it. I mean, we could always just move it off the cliff completely. It could stand somewhere here. Is that nicer? Doesn't need to be on the cliff necessarily. But it kind of feels like these people would probably have placed it somewhere relatively high. And so, you know, something like this might make sense. What if we put a rock here? Environment. Rock number, I don't know. Number 1. Yeah, no, that's like way too large. How is this? This model is reaching pretty far down. Yeah. The way I'm thinking about this is that like we can't actually dig a hole here. You can see that we can't dig a hole because the mesh is gonna come through. So if we want this thing to truly be in like a sand pit, then it can't be up here because the mesh is there. So we're gonna have to move that down. Don't worry about your ramp. You're gonna get your ramp. I won't take it away, but I'm not gonna necessarily leave it wide open. But you'll have your ramp. No, don't worry about it. But yeah, okay. So I think that the solution here is that we are going to take all of this. We're gonna move it a bit to the side, like this. Alternatively, we're gonna move it this way. Right, there's the edge of the... It's kind of difficult to see, but there's the edge of the mesh. About there. So, we could actually move it this way. Quite far this way, actually. Yeah, there's the edge of the mesh. Or then we just actually move it a bit higher up. But we don't like cut a hole into the ground for this thing to be in. Let's have the fall off be smoother, like this. It can be a very subtle little thing. But typically when these things are placed in a level, like some sort of tower or pillar or whatever, if it is large enough, it typically looks pretty good to have it stand in a little bit of a pit, almost as if water had accumulated around it. I know I've spoken about this before. Hey Matt, what's happening? Welcome. How goes the development these past few weeks? It goes well. I haven't actually had all that much time to work on the game, specifically these past few weeks, which is why there was a bit of stuff happening last weekend. We modeled this guy here, which maybe you saw on the Discord, in this kind of space warehouse thingy, standing on legs. This happened last weekend, and I did some slight fixing up of that during the week, but didn't really have a whole lot of time to work on the game. It is of course also a weekend. Right now it's Sunday, so I have some time, but next week we'll again go mostly to other things. But then I will be back with a vengeance. With a vengeance, I tell you, and we will most likely see some new builds, maybe even pre-release builds in June. So yeah, it goes pretty well. I've been doing a lot of work on the narrative side lately. Yeah, that sand doesn't really look good. Sorry, I'm confused here, or I'm distracted rather. That sand doesn't look good. I need to put gravel there. Let's do gravel. Gravel, thank you. Yeah, this is what I wanted. This is what I actually wanted. Like, I'm sure some of you are sick and tired of looking at this particular level. I know I am. At least. And the good news is that, like I said in the beginning of the stream, this is kind of like one of the last planned things that I have in this level. I have one or two other smaller things that still need to be done, but like it is actually getting kind of close to being final here. I want some more trees up here on this ridge, for example, that sort of thing. You can see some of the trees here kind of blinking in and out of existence, so I'm gonna have to do something about that. Probably create like a distant object pass tree, or like tree imposter or something. That's why I haven't really done that a whole lot. But those are kind of like, they're not even really part of the level, so I don't really consider them something new to model, even though that might technically have to be kind of modeled separately. But yeah, I want some more detail up here. But then I think we're basically done. And yeah, this car needs to be modeled. Some of you maybe saw in a somewhat recent stream that we have like a whole conversation system now. And so this is called Florence vehicle, and it sits in the conversation Florence layer, because Mrs. Florence is this old lady that you can you can talk to here, and she's not very nice. Let's just say she's kind of difficult to be around. Right, something like this. Then of course, what goes really well with these kinds of things are like rocks. Now that doesn't look right at all. Ugh. Scale them down. When you have these kinds of like gravel pits, you always need to put rocks in them, or they just look wrong. Yeah, scale these down quite a bit actually, and put them maybe here off to the side. Like so. Yes, and the whole thing is still in one piece. That's good. Yeah, I have these like quick selection modes, like in an RTS. You press like Control and a number. So I can press like Control 3, for example, then select something else here, and then if I press 3, it goes back to this thing. It's very handy. I just forget to use them every now and then I make a fool of myself trying to select the correct things. Light intensity. Bring it down a little bit here. There we go. Yep. All right. Now, let's see. I've been busy with my own stuff recently. Haven't got a chance to catch any streams. Yeah, it happens. It happens. Don't worry about it. Like overall, I am planning to release the public demo probably after summer, and my thinking is that before that there will be a pre-alpha 4, which should have a bunch of new things. It's basically like the demo, but slightly less polished and perhaps without voice acting. So that is kind of like on a high level what I've been talking about, like here over the past few months, trying to get these things done. And yeah, I'm actually at a place now where I am like in contact with voice actors. I have a person from the community, I will not mention by name right now, at least because I haven't discussed it with them, but actually doing the voice acting, like direction and things like that. And I'm lucky enough to know some people from beforehand who do voice acting and who have been very excited to do some of the voices here. So that should be really, really fun to actually get proper voice acting in the game. That should elevate the demo mission and all of that to new heights. Because currently we have just like these really horrible text-to-speech voices. And they're sort of like, I don't really want to release a game with text-to-speech voices. If I can help it, so I'm probably not even gonna leave those in for pre-alpha 4. So if we don't have actual voice acting, we're probably not gonna have anything. But there's been a whole lot of work actually making that thing work overall. Let's temporarily get the turn off the grass here again. Right, so I'm gonna lower the ground here actually quite a bit. I think between these two rocks, make it a bit more interesting, this whole area here. Not a whole lot, but a little. We don't want to just plonk one of these cliffs here and then just have it sit sort of where the ground used to be very flat, because it wouldn't be flat if there was a cliff here. And yeah, again, I could use a carver for this, but I kind of feel like fiddling with this a little bit. That of course also makes this cliff taller, right? We have it at scale 1. I wonder if that is that too large? Maybe not. Yeah, I don't think I want to necessarily lower this too much. I don't like these cliffs here, these kind of like small peaks poking through. Let's leave that for now. Just evening this out. Yeah, we haven't done really this kind of level design in a while here, which is kind of nice actually, because I'm concentrating on other things. I am kind of anxious though to get to doing a whole lot of like level and location design in those new levels. That some of them I've briefly shown off some of the videos, some of them I haven't really shown off almost at all. But yeah, of course there should be like 3 or 4 levels in this game that you just haven't seen at all in the campaign. The campaign being about 6-7 or so levels long, most likely. with the majority of those levels being kind of large like this. Not necessarily all of them. All right. 6-7. Yeah, my kids get very, especially my older kid gets very upset. I guess she gets like super cringed if I say 6-7, which of course makes it all the more fun to do so. Yeah, you like you say skibbity 6-7 to any of my kids, and you can kind of like see their like will to live kind of momentarily disappear. So I've been threatening that like if they don't do as I say, I will greet their friends by saying skibbity 6-7 to everyone. And that usually like makes them very obedient immediately. Because apparently it's like so 2024 or something. Right. You don't want to make this like too uneven because it's just going to be annoying to drive on. Let's see. I still don't know what that 6-7 nonsense means. I think it originated from everything that wasn't mid being scored 6 or 7 out of 10, but who knows? Yeah, who knows? It's been explained to me that it was somehow based on like on a basketball player who was like 6'7" tall or something like that, and then some like viral video of like some kid going like, oh, 6'7" or something like that, and then, but I mean, you know, it could just as well be that it was this like mid-level thing that caused that kid in that video to say that, and then, you know, one thing feeds another, which feeds a third, which feeds a fourth. Whoa, that's not what I want to do. But yeah, I yeah, I love that everyone chimes in here on their take on it. I think we're like, you know, we're like 15 to 20 years too old to have any opinion on this. Skibbity, of course, is as far as I know, is like specifically designed to not mean anything. Like, right? If I'm not mistaken, that is like specifically doesn't mean anything. It's just, you know, a filler word. Yeah, all right. How does this look? I think it kind of fits into the whole environment here kind of nicely and seamlessly. This doesn't look very very good yet, but I think we can probably fix that. I'm very happy about my new orbit camera that I added maybe a month ago or so. It's very handy for these kinds of things. Yeah, that thing needs a little bit more work. You can see here that there's actually quite a bit of detail here underground that we don't see. And I could maybe cut like a slightly larger hole here if we wanted to just benefit from having those there. That might not be a bad idea, just because they're there anyway. So let's save this. I'm just gonna cut. Let's cut it like it's hot. Alright. And then then this would probably also be a place that we should put a whole lot of gravel and rocks and stuff, and it kind of just resolves itself. You're like, oh yeah, that looks correct, right? That looks like a place. Of course, these height differences here are quite dramatic already. That's fine. I always liked games that have crazy height differences. There was a really old game which ran, I think, on the Unreal Engine 3, which was a weird kind of like Wild West steampunk hybrid thing, like a little bit like Wild West and all of that. I've later heard it be called a really bad game, and maybe it is. I don't know. But it had so interesting levels, because they're like height differences were so absolutely crazy. It just went all bananas on that. What was it called? Something like Damnation or Nation Game. Yeah, this thing. Oh, it's still on Steam, is it? Looks like it is. Oh, it's no longer available. Oh, but yeah, look at this. This is just awesome. It's awesome. And these levels were all made like this. You could just like had like 100 meters. Like here as well. You know, there's like a train down there, and this guy is just standing up here. Height differences here were just like so cool. I don't want to watch a video about this, but this was just super cool. I remember playing that and was like, "Wow, this is really kind of a neat game." And then I've been corrected on that front, and I've been told that my opinion is wrong. Of course, now I know better. But yeah, height differences are always fun. Oh hey, X-Luxy, welcome back. Welcome. So, I don't exactly know how to... There's this weird kind of hump here now. Because this thing used to just go like up and up and up till it went down the other side. But now we don't really need and or want that. we might actually want to cut a little bit of a sort of a I don't know what it's called. Alright, hello everyone. Hello everyone and or welcome back. Something happened, but something has been happening in every stream now for the past 4 or 5 streams. Let's hope it doesn't get as chaotic as it got last time when everything broke. I kind of just like, I don't have the energy to go and just figure that out today. So let's hope it was fine. Okay. Right. I'm streaming H254. I think it's H254. Let's have a look. See. Yeah, 264. Yeah, not 254. Yeah, 264. Yes. 264. I think the 265 is better for YouTube. Yeah. Maybe. How's the AMD 265 encoder these days? Is it good? Is it worth using? The AMD encoders were really kind of bad a few years back, but I think they're kind of okay now. Yeah, because like I mentioned multiple times, I'm running an AMD GPU now on this machine, which is my sort of main development machine. At least when I'm focusing 100% on Traction Point, which of course I'm not doing currently. But the weeks and the periods that I am doing that, I'm using this machine as my main machine, and it's also my most used streaming machine. And this is now AMD all the way, something that we got a taste of in the previous stream, trying to bake 8K in Blender. Using an AMD card, and it was a little bit of a shit show. Okay. Yeah, you can see I should actually probably lighten up this section here on the sort of neighboring rock here, cliff, a little bit. Probably by using like sand or something here. Okay, I don't want to do that. Wrong tool. Here we go. Yeah, something like that. But I'm not gonna do it now. It's probably not a good idea to mess with that. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, let's do a little bit of gravel painting here next to this guy. Like this. And I think also here is now going to be the gravelest of places here. General vicinity. All right. We are also going to probably make a new vehicle kind of soon. It is a little bit of a rehashing of the Scout, I guess, from a physics perspective, because it is this vehicle here is the vehicle that Mrs. Florence drives, and it is supposed to be a station wagon, at least according to the description that I've written in the game Bible, which of course can change. But like a sci-fi station wagon is the idea there, and yeah, we need to make that. So that might be something to look forward to if you want to see some more vehicle creation. There's also going to be like new actual kind of new and interesting and different vehicles. I'm doing a little bit of research on the side for how to do tracked vehicles. And how that would work. Like PhysX already supports so-called tank vehicle controllers. I don't think I've actually necessarily exposed all of that to through my own APIs, but that shouldn't be an issue, shall we say? What could be kind of more interesting and also challenging is how to handle the tracks from like a presentation perspective. So how to actually make those tracks kind of like look like they move realistically and all of that. So that's kind of interesting. I'm not promising I will actually have that, but that'd be kind of nice and neat. And I'm also pondering if I should have some sort of legged either vehicles or sort of like automatons. There's like one area in particular in the campaign that could benefit from that kind of from even a lore perspective. So that could be kind of cool. And of course, I want to remind everyone that you can just make your own vehicles already in the game if you want to. If you want to make a vehicle and you just use the meshes and everything that's already there and just fiddle with the physics, then you can do that, or you can just completely create your own thing. It should all work already today, already in pre-alpha 3. And of course, I'd be happy to help you if you have any issues with that. But yeah, you don't even need to write any code for that. It's just a game object type that you can set up, or you should be able to set up. Yeah, I might have to fiddle with the light probes a little bit in this area as well. Let's see, if we enable the light probe rendering, blips, then we enlarge the light probes quite a bit. We should be able to see if we have any light probes here. Yeah, we don't really have any light probes. I have one just here. There should probably be a few here if we have this be kind of a slightly darker area beneath the cliff there. I don't know, maybe not. Well, we'll see. Might want to have that though. Light probes. All right. Okay, maybe I should have a drive through the area to see what is what at this point. Oh, I should fix that. Yeah. That's annoying. Yeah. Let's fix that. Oh, okay. Yeah. We have the grass here still. Yep, we need to fix that as well. So many things are broken now. Let's fix them all in one go. So, this stuff. Actually, there were 3 warnings. What were the other 2? Refinery. Up. Come on. Boot directly into that one. So I think 1 or 2 of those warnings were probably the mast renderer, or mast wire renderer, whatever. And then this is that's the wire renderer. Tower number 3. I see. Yeah, okay. So it's this one here actually. Whoop. This guy is having some issues. This is supposed to be loud. Yeah, these things are actually just strings. So the engine is not smart enough to actually realize that, hey, something got renamed. Yeah, it's a bit of a regret of mine, perhaps, to actually have the string form of those paths be the authoritative format, right? Yeah, force rebuild, and now it kind of snaps down here. But of course, we don't want grass here, here exactly. So we're gonna take some of that away. Yeah, it would have probably been nicer to have like a a GUID or something be the authoritative thing, and then sort of like and then calculate or resolve the path based on that GUID. That's probably how I would do it if I did it today. Was maybe a little stupid to have the string form be what actually determines the identity of an object. But hey, this thing was decided like 15 years ago, so I just didn't know better. I didn't know any better at the time. I was young and naive, one might say. Something like that, maybe? Should there be a little bit of grass here, maybe? Just make the light intensity kind of low. I'm not sure. I'm not sure there should be. We'll see. See if we can figure it out. Okay, yep. Wonder if we actually need any grass on top of that. We'll see. Maybe we do. But it's not 100% clear to me at this point that we do. But we might do. Righty-o. Anyone played the new James Bond game? By the way. It's the first new game I bought in probably like, I don't know, since like December or something. I think the last game I bought was in the Steam Winter Sale. But I did buy the new James Bond game the other day. I haven't played a whole lot of it yet, but but the parts of it I have played have been kind of fun. It is clearly not as involved of a stealth game as something like Hitman. That actually fits me kind of nicely. I mean, I'm a big stealth fan. I'm like, I don't know how many times I've played through Dishonored and Splinter Cell, the first one, and stuff like that. But for some reason, and I'm sure this is just something strange with me, because they're excellent games, but the Hitman games have never really quite, I don't know, I've never replayed any of them. I played the first two of the new ones, and I did play the old back around, what was it, maybe Blood Money or something. I did play Absolution, which everyone hated as well. I thought it was kind of okay, actually. Never replayed any of the new ones. I never really even had any urge to replay the new ones. They were kind of like super mechanically detailed. They almost got overwhelming for me. I was just like, I just want to have fun here and do something fun. There's just so many options here for me to choose from, and then I kind of not. I don't think I've played that third one at all, actually. But yeah, I'm not dissing them at all. They're clearly excellent stealth games. But for some reason they didn't really gel with me as much as they gelled with some other people I know. Oh, you actually responded to me here. Yes, I liked it a lot. Oh, so you already played through it then? The James Bond ordeal? Well, not a sneaky spy though, so pure stealth wouldn't make sense. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, he's not an Agent 47 clearly, right? It's much more of a confront your enemies sort of kind of guy. I do really enjoy the like Thief or Dishonored gameplay of trying to get like ghost status in all of those levels though. That is something that I enjoy quite a lot. And actually, speaking of Dishonored, there's been the videos of Rafael Colantonio and Harvey Smith playing through Dishonored again, which is actually super fun to see. See, just those guys actually being kind of bad at the game, and just getting caught everywhere and going like, oh, okay, I got caught again. I'm just gonna fight my way out of here. Right? You know. Just like normal plebs, they're not stealth gods themselves, which is just, well, this is just fun to see. Okay, I'm kind of thinking I wanna try to make this work now without having a grass object here for this tiny little piece of rock here. It kind of feels unnecessary just to have an additional object for that. Oh, that's not what I want to do. I want to do height here, and I think we want to actually get almost completely rid of the grass here in these brownish areas. Kind of looking forward to a new Bond movie. Yeah. Bond movies are fun. I don't want to reboot of the old Jack Ryan movies. Huh. I have Dishonored 2 but not played it yet. Oh man. You need to fix that. You need to fix that, my friend. If you feel like the beginning of Dishonored 2 is annoying, and specifically you feel it's annoying because of the characters, then rest assured that that is not going to, you know, follow you along for very long. I mean, you do get to kill some of those annoying characters, and I think they're just straight up written to be annoying, right? They're kind of supposed to be annoying. You get to assassinate or otherwise dispose of those characters later on in the game. Dishonored 2 has some of the best level design ever, in my book. People keep raving about the Clockwork Mansion, but it is just like so freaking amazing. And that's the big one. That's the one that people keep talking about. I think there's another one which is called is it a crack in the slab or something like that, which has two kind of realities running at the same time. Dishonored 2 is great, but I played that one like a serial killer. So many fun new execution options in 2. The first one was much more sneaky. Was it though? Yeah, maybe. I think the first one also had a lot of execution options. The first one also had a lot of like really cool, like neither sneaky nor execution options, right? Like you can brand the High Overseer with the what's it called? The like he's this like leader of this really religious order, and you basically brand him with their like the uttermost mark of shame, so that no one can speak to him, and he basically gets to like serve out the rest of his life in a mine or something. Like you can just do that. You don't have to kill him. You don't have to, set him free. You can just like brand him. Like, no, you're gonna be miserable for the rest of your life. And that's one of the things that the developers show in those recent videos, actually, that particular thing. But I've done it probably 10 times playing through the game myself. So much fun. Yeah, the art style of Traction Point is inspired a lot by Dishonored's. It is obviously not as beautiful as Dishonored's. It's probably not even though this is like a Unreal 3 game we're talking about here, it's probably not even as technically advanced as Dishonored's, but it's in some ways going with a lot of mattes and painterly textures. It's actually kind of coming from there, among other places, of course. Rightio. We do need some trees here, though. So let's put some trees here. And this looks like a pretty kind of like dry place. It's not a lot of like really lush greens here. So I think we're gonna go with some like yellow and red spruces here. That's kind of what I often do in these kinds of places. And these red and yellow spruces are not necessarily supposed to be dry. They're just like they're a slight kind of mutation of the normal, which I'm sure doesn't make any sense at all because of like photosynthesis being very green business and all of that, but I don't care. I don't care, sue me. But anyway, regardless, I kind of still use them because even though they're not really supposed to be kind of dry, I think people still kind of, associate kind of green with more lush areas, and then these with more kind of arid areas. Something like that, maybe. I don't know. Does it intersect there? Nope, it does not. It looks okay. Minus the dream parts, those were a little annoying. Ah, dream parts. Dishonored. What were those? Oh, the ones that where you wake in the void or whatever it's called. Yeah, they can be kind of. They were pretty short though. So I don't really like dream parts in a lot of games. Like it's usually just like a, or not usually, but it's often just a reason for like the developers to go like, hey, we have these assets. Let's make like a make like a trippy place and just like put some of these assets together in a weird floaty way and have the player kind of like jump from one to another, and like the payoff is almost never there. Kind of like in actual dreams. Like the payoff for quote unquote watching a dream from beginning to end is almost never worth it, right? you wake when just when you're supposed to get the answer to your question or whatever the dream is about. You just wake right when that's supposed to happen. I've had dreams where I'm like I'm considering some development thing, and I'm like, damn, this is tricky. I don't know what to do about this thing. I've had dreams where I meet someone who knows the answer to this, and they're being very coy about it, and they're like, yes, well, I will tell you in a little bit, and then like eventually you're like, okay, damn it, tell me the thing. How am I supposed to solve this problem? And then they're like, okay, so the reason or the answer is, and then I wake up. And then I'm like, no, oh, you bastard. And of course I know that it works like that because like I can't like magically dream the answer to an actual problem, but it's often kind of the same thing in those video game dreams. You just get some very cryptic information from someone, and then the normal game continues, and you're like, okay, well, there was no payoff in that. Okay. What about having some more trees here beneath this? This is now, that's just scaled at 1. Okay, good. And then we can scale this up a little bit. And amazingly, we still don't actually intersect anything. That's good. Nice. Put that squarely into the ground there. That thing kind of slightly flying. No, it's good. Okay, excellent. Yeah, I think we need to lift this up a little bit to make it look realistic, essentially. Bounce that a little bit. Something like that. Right, so I would kind of like, I would like a little bit of grass up on top of this thing, but I don't know if I want it enough to actually add another grass object there. It would be kind of neat to just like not have it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So how is this thing actually looking now? If you're, I mean, I should play this area pretty soon and make sure it works, but not like, yeah, you can see the pillar from over there. That's nice. I like this view from up here for this new thing, like with these rocks here and everything. I think it looks pretty cool. Wasn't actually something that I was planning for. I think it looks pretty cool. So that's neat. And here Decker can still use this as a ramp, both from that direction and also from here, with a little bit of skill. Like I promised. Should put a stump here maybe. I think this place needs a little bit more detail somehow. And then there should be most likely, where's that thing? Is it in ENV1? ENV1 is right here. Spruce log. Yoink. I should make more props. We should have a props modeling stream. At some point again. We had one. That was probably over a year ago now. Crazy how time flies. But yeah, I need more props, clearly. Because I'm just reusing these things. Which is fine, I mean it's kind of economical and all of that, but still. A few more props even for this level wouldn't be a bad thing. Okay, let's export this and see what it looks like. Should hopefully have all of those warnings fixed. Well, they're actually errors in the sense that like those masked wire renderers just don't work if you have those paths incorrect. Loudspeaker tower 2. Wire renderer could not find object S. Oh, what? What? What did I do? I had one job. Yeah, that's stupid. What? Waypoint 2. There we go. Maybe that should be an export error, but I didn't want to make them an export error for some reason. I don't know exactly why. They should probably be export errors. Then you would catch them here rather than in the game. Okay. How's it look? Yeah. Yeah, whenever I see something like this, I'm just like, yeah, my editor is not that bad. My editor is kind of good for this stuff. Hey. Up. Right, like about an hour ago, this was still like a just a flat plane. Of course, we reused the cliff mesh, but like. But yeah, tools are not that bad. I mean, of course, I'm suffering from the Finnish mentality of like, yeah, the thing's kind of shit, and me most of all. But it's not that bad. That grass there looks a little wonky. I need to figure something out. I could maybe use a bush mesh or two. That could maybe be a good thing to have. Project Slide, which is the previous incarnation of the project, it had a lot of ferns everywhere. I could probably just bring those over and redo the material to be more in line with this art style. That might be okay. Yeah. Not too shabby. Then we need to remember to regenerate the nav mesh. Otherwise someone is going to get stuck on this for sure, because it's like in the middle of this opening here, so it would be the perfect place to drive normally. And now all of a sudden you need to drive around it. Yeah, like large parts of this grass just looks awesome. You just want to go and lie down in it and go like, ah, it's a fluffy. It's a fluffy. Yeah, that tower is not gonna look all that nice before we have, or until we have the texturing done for it, of course. But it already has a much better sort of sense of scale. Let's put this guy maybe there. Yeah, this is a pretty large cliff actually, as you can see here. It's pretty tall. And then I'll put another guy here. And like this pillar is actually almost exactly the same height as the previous one. And it is kind of thinner in towards the top and thicker towards the bottom than the previous one, but it's still like, it just looks, I don't know, it looks much more realistic somehow. Take this guy here and move it here temporarily next to this. Alright, like it just looks so so clumsy somehow. Like this would not be something that actually would be made to look like this at like the size that it is. It's just so ridiculously. I don't know. It's like very thick, and it looks too thick. But at the same time, this is actually like thicker towards the bottom than this is. So yeah, it's a strange thing. Scale. Okay. Is this guy actually standing on the ground now? Yeah, more or less. More or less on the ground. This would be like first person view. Oh, so tall. Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty neat. What's going on here? The grass could use a little bit of fixing up. That's probably fine. Okay, let's look at the nav meshes now before I forget. Nav mesh main. Yep. So we had. You can see here where the old alarm tower thing was. Yeah, I think that should be marked as blocking the nav mesh. We'll just rebake it and see what happens. Yeah, my nav mesh baking could do with a good re-architecting as well. Like the majority of the time here goes into just like exporting the scene geometry, and we do it sort of unnecessarily many times when we regenerate the nav meshes. We could just do it once and then regenerate all the nav meshes. Alright, that's better. That is better indeed. I think it actually looks pretty good. I wonder if these logs are drivable. We're gonna want to check that. I think they should be. Should be drivable. But yeah, like a basis nav mesh actually consists of several recast nav meshes or detour nav meshes, because we have like different channels and things like that might work slightly differently. And then of course we actually have several nav meshes here in the editor. We have the one for mother, and we have the one for which is the main one. Because mother needs a different nav mesh because she is so ridiculously large. She needs a whole different set of areas. So yeah, it's actually doing like several of those nav mesh. Several sort of raw recast bakings when we bake one of these. Alright, so here we can see the difference between the mother one and the normal one. Mother can actually just about it would seem. Drive between these two. That's nice. We should try that out actually. Right after this. Mother can't drive through there. That looks about right. She also can't drive through there, but she can actually drive here and there. Yeah, well, let's try that actually. See, make sure she doesn't get stuck. And apparently she could just about fit here. Okay, another one. Another one of those 1 second drops. Good. Yeah, I was just about to say that Mother could just about fit here because we have like 2 triangles here. The rest of this is like the agent's radius for it. So she could just about fit here, but she couldn't move anywhere. So it's kind of unnecessary actually, but oh well. Oh well. Right, so let's build this, and then I'm gonna try actually playing this in mission mode, because in mission mode we can ask Mother to just navigate this space for us, and that should show if we have any bad issues with the AI there. And once again, you get to enjoy my horrible text-to-speech audio.
Here we are, Minerva lift station. Fastest way up to the plateau.
At least the elevator's still there. After you vet.
We'll be right behind you. Minerva station. This is Rowan Lance, comms operator of cargo platform 34. Do you copy? No answer. Let's go have a look.
Actually, yeah, I've been thinking we would do one scripting change here, and I wonder if we should do it in this stream. Let's do what we originally was planning to do here. However, it's kind of annoying that Mother is sort of like left standing there. So I was thinking there's a trigger around here in this area called the junction trigger. I was thinking when we reach that, maybe Mother should just like drive to the lift station as well. Now she's just standing here not doing anything. It's kind of stupid. So let's maybe do that as well.
Channel open. Repositioning.
Oh yeah, I had to I had to rewrite. I had to hack the Ink runtime that I'm using. Ink has this Ink, of course, being the scripting language that I'm using to write this narrative, this dialogue, and all of that. And Ink has this command called shuffle, which should, in theory, and I think in the reference implementation, it should select.
Receiving. En route.
It should select a random response without like repetitions. And then the InkCPP runtime that I'm using, which is really good actually. I really like it. It's a third-party implementation. And there was a comment something like I don't want to do that fancy logic. I'm just gonna have a random here.
Listening.
So
Adjusting position.
yeah, it was kind of borked in that sense. You could just
Looks like the power's out.
yes.
Someone's parked over there.
All right, so they can fit there kind of nicely. That's nice. Well, yeah, I
En route.
redid the randomness logic there to
Channel open.
hopefully
Adjusting position.
not do any repetitions, and I think it should work pretty okay.
Listening. Repositioning.
Debug the vehicle here. Let's see.
Receiving. Adjusting position. Channel open. En route. Listening. Repositioning.
Yeah, alright. Seems to kind of work. If we drive here, she probably can't come to us.
Channel open. No viable route.
Yeah. Which is like, yeah, it's a little stupid. You have to like drive a bit further from that cliff.
Listening. En route.
I should maybe do something about that. Ah, but yeah, seems to be working. Yeah, we should tweak this, fiddle and tweak with this ambient lighting on the grass a little bit more here. It's clearly not quite what it should be.
Channel open. Adjusting position.
Let's see, can I drive on these guys? Yeah. I can. Yeah, we don't get any tire tracks on the mesh. That's another thing that's kind of like a little annoying with having meshes that kind of bare.
Listening. Repositioning.
All right. So here's another new feature for those of you who haven't been around for a while. Look at this. We can talk to this person. Hello. Except, yeah, the prompt is here behind this window. Oop. It's easy to talk.
Hello? Anyone in there?
Oh, finally someone shows up. I have been sitting here for I don't know how long, waiting for someone to do their job and open this gate.
We're not.
I am.
Yeah, she's very
Did you hear
unhappy
me?
that no one is here to
I am a
help her in.
Now
She's not going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna skip this.
hours and hours. My parent, and now,
The display above the gate says the power is out.
yes,
It is a shoot.
Sounds.
I'll be right here, waiting, as usual.
Yeah, you can actually. Let's see. Whoop. Switch to this. I don't know if I've actually shown this off on stream before. And there's actually a little bit of work left to do with this, but she has some like dynamic reactions now, which is kind of neat. Maybe I did show this off. I don't remember.
stop that at once.
Yeah, such emotion in the acting there. Stop that at once. I'm gonna let you go. Don't you see that I'm helping you?
Well, I'm down. That's something, at least.
And now that she's inside, she immediately drives to the elevator. So there's like a whole bunch of like logic happening there in the background that like tracks whether or not you've dropped her at a place that she can manage to get to the elevator at. It's almost funnier with the TTS. Well, you don't know how good it's gonna be with the final acting. So you don't know how funny it's gonna be, right?
Another couple more questions
Whoa.
for the documentary, if you have a minute.
Specify question category.
Anything stand out from your time with the crew?
I retain logs of all operational events.
That's not what I asked.
Hey, that looks like a way into the station. Refining clear. Hold that thought. You're in. Let's get the power back on.
Power station should be around here somewhere. Follow the power lines.
Yeah, did you see there that Rowan actually interrupted that interview that Marty was doing there with Mother? And she goes like, hold that thought, and that means that like the mission script has determined that there's something more interesting going on, and like we shouldn't like just spout background information for like exposition and whatnot. So that's a feature that I added kind of recently, where I have these kind of like small vignette things, as I call them, that are like the small self-contained stories that like might happen, and then the mission has kind of like more important things that it might want to make sure that the player knows, and then one of the characters can go like, actually, let's talk about this now.
Ew, Carbon crew. That is no way to treat a lady. No way at all.
At least she is inside the station.
This elevator isn't moving. Does anything in this place actually work?
We're working on it, Mrs. Florence. The power is out across the whole station.
Well, I can see that. So do something about it.
Alright, we should get
I'll
going.
be here. Where else would I be?
And then if you go here and figure out that this is the power station,
That's the power station.
blah blah blah.
What are we looking at?
What are we looking at?
Those canisters. Power cells.
We don't know.
One's already in.
What should we do?
Empty, though.
There's a full one in the garage.
We'll need something to lift it into place. See if you can find another river trunk or something that can lift things.
Yeah.
Like our old one. Miss her, claw and all. There's our gripper.
Bonk.
Whoever left it, thanks.
Oh yeah, there's another gripper there. I need to take that away. That's a good thing. Let's actually do it here while the game is running. Need to remember to remove this. It was here just for scale as well. Bye bye. What's that? Oh, that. Yeah, okay. We have just like a whole section of out of date stuff there. Yeah, like now, if you go and talk to Mrs. Florence again, now that we have figured out that we need these power cells, because of course the player didn't know that before, because they didn't get that told. You can actually go and talk to her. She will tell you
Oh,
some
wonderful.
hints.
They were back, and the elevator still isn't moving.
Right, have you seen any power cells around here?
And what do those look like exactly?
Big containers, about the size of a barrel, painted yellow. The contents glow blue.
Well, I wasn't exactly taking inventory on my way in. Have you checked the storage area on the lower level? That's where they keep things like that, isn't it? That's all I can tell you. Now, are you going to sort this elevator out or not?
Yeah, okay.
Well, go on then.
So now we know, oh, okay, yeah, storage area on the lower level. Because of course these power cells are spawned in a semi-random configuration. There's always one in the garage there, near the receptacles. And now we can go like, yeah. No power cells here, but oh, wait a minute, there's one there. Look at that. Mrs. Florence, the old knower of things. Oh no, screwed up. And they can be in pretty wildly different parts of the level, of course. So so she has some pointers to give you if you don't know where to look. Looks like the chat is eating my messages again. Oh. That's weird. So, did you lose a lot of messages? Or are you perhaps trying to tell me that right now? Okay, let's put that into place.
That's one power cell in place.
Oh, yes.
The gate is opening.
Oh my god. The gate is opening.
We still need 2 more power cells to power the elevator.
Christopher Walken.
Maybe there are more power cells around. Worth a look. That's another power cell plugged in.
Yes. Maybe used forbidden words or something like that. Yeah, maybe. Maybe though that now makes me even more interested in what you had to say. Obviously. Yeah, we're still missing some dynamic reactions from Mrs. Florence. She should be very upset with you if you just like bump into her hard enough. Thing is that I need to make my system for handling just about any physics impulse in some specific way are much more robust, so that I can play like sound effects and particle systems and things like that when things bounce around. I'm probably gonna hook it into that as well.
Don't tell me. You're still working on it.
I am, yes.
And what do...
Big.
Well,
That's the same
have you
thing.
checked the storage area on the lower level? That's where they keep things like that. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
I'll be here. Where else would I be?
Yeah, I don't know, Mrs. Florence, I don't know. I don't mind the speech as a text to speech as a placeholder. Yeah, I mean, it has its use, definitely. Without any kind of text to speech, you would be completely clueless with how the system is actually doing, right? That's why we use it also at the company that I work. Everything is run through text to speech at first, and then it is replaced. And of course, like the speech duration actually drives a lot of things. So you kind of need something there. Well, it can use. I think it uses just like a a per character time, and then kind of like calculate some like made up duration based on those, on how long the line is if you don't have anything. But it actually makes it a lot easier to and a much more robust way to actually test out the dialogue if you just have someone speak it, even if it is just text to speech. I'm using AI for the voiceover. So I'm using a text to speech solution called Piper. I don't exactly know how that works, but it is.
Anything new from the refinery, Mother? Negative. Plume hold.
Yeah, it's just a placeholder until we have the voice acting in place.
Things steady.
But yeah, this is generated.
Diego is humming again. He does that when he's worried. What? I have noted the correlation across multiple incidents.
Piper TTS, yeah,
Did she just
exactly.
read someone's mood? I am tracking operational behavior.
Piper TTS, and specifically the old one. There's a more recent one, and then there's an old one. Yep. Oh, sorry, Mr. Diego, probably. No, okay, actually, you can't. Diego is in the scout.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
On my way. Diego here. Be right there.
Like I've shown it off in previous streams, but some of the lines generated for the Stellar character are just completely broken. They're so freaking broken. I don't know what is up with that model. I haven't bothered to replace him because Stellar actually doesn't drive any vehicles in the demo currently. Although maybe he should.
Hey, what's up? Heading over.
But yeah, it can be completely broken. See if we can swing this power cell into the receptacle using this crane arm. I think it can be done. I think I've done it actually previously. That's sick though. Well, thank you. I'm assuming you mean the good kind of sick. Are you full-time solo dev? No. I wish I was. I don't have the money to be a full-time solo dev. And of course I'm not selling this thing yet or making any money from this yet, so
Yes, another
look at
power
that.
cell in place.
How cool is that?
The elevator is powering up.
Nice job, Vet. Let's get
Yes.
the vehicles in.
It's very cool. It's very cool of you, Mr. Vet.
Oh, wonderful. They were back. And the elevator's still
She should
moving.
have a better.
We've got the power sorted.
Yeah.
We just need to get our vehicles onto the elevator.
Then what are you doing talking to me? Get on with it.
Like you can't. The conversation actually stops there. You can't even talk to her
Channel
anymore.
open.
She's just like, well,
En route.
get your vehicles here then. What are you doing? Well, yeah, I'm not full time. No, I work on this. Depending on the
Nice,
month.
We are all here. Let's get this thing moving.
Depending on the month, I work on this full time anywhere from like 1 week per month to around 3 weeks per month. And
Please keep your hands and feet inside the ride at all times.
yes, haha.
Long way up. Long way down.
Oh yeah, I added some new jokes. I didn't even remember
That's
those.
quite the view.
Alright, the demo should end here. Let's see if it does. I haven't played this in a little while, but it should be fine. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Right, so this is starting to look pretty okay, I think. We need to light map this area. Let's look at the... Yeah, we can see here that we have some grass here that we need to fiddle with the like close, with the near ambient lighting a little bit. Again, it's my fairly limited lighting model for the grass, which has a slightly different sort of AO path compared to the rest of the game. Oh, actually, we shouldn't have any grass there at all. Let's take that away. But yeah, when it comes to like full-time versus part-time or whatever, I've been doing this for quite a long time, and my plan has been to, like, you know, work on this at such a pace that I don't have like I don't need to be in a hurry to get this done, because there's so many things to learn when you want to build something like this as a solo dev. But that also means that I can't do it full time, right? Because kind of either you need to give yourself the time to do it at a pace that suits you, but then work somewhere else typically, or you need to kind of go like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna do this full time, and then you're sort of in a hurry to get it done, because you can't necessarily sustain yourself for very long. It's a custom engine, yeah, absolutely. So that is, you know, that's that's part of the whole thing. That's part of the project, is making the engine, which is also one reason why it's taken somewhat long. Light intensity there is kind of strange. I should probably have... Oh right, no, this is actually, this is correct, yeah. I'm thinking of the wrong term here. So light intensity is kind of different from, or it's not kind of, it is different from ambient light. But they can, depending on how you adjust them, they can kind of affect the same things, if you will. Making it alone, yeah, I don't... No one else is helping me. No, yes, it's made alone. It's a solo developed engine. Absolutely. I do make game engines for a living, though. You know, when I'm not making this game and this engine, I make an engine for a much larger company. So in that sense, it's It's not super weird. It's not super weird in that sense. Here I do everything though. My other job I just handle. Well, I'm kind of a generalist there, but I don't do any rendering, for example. So it's a minor miracle that my renderer is holding together. You make your own engine. I'm still confused how to make 2D top-down movement in Godot. Well, you know, I was confused with that stuff too once upon a time, so shouldn't feel bad about that. It's just I've been doing this for a good number of years. So just keep at it, and you will learn all of that and much more. No reason to compare yourself against other people. Instead, compare yourself against, you know, what you knew last year, right? That's my advice. Compare yourself to what you knew a month ago. And, you know, document what you do, because that is very handy to go back to later and go like, yeah, I was kind of a dumbass when I thought that was gonna work, you know. or you know, yeah, that was kind of cool, but look at where it is right now, and then that's very motivating. So keep old builds and old code and everything. Don't throw stuff away. Just archive it and then look at it later if you need to. I don't know. That's what I do, at least. But yeah, don't compare yourself to other people. Just compare yourself to yourself, and then everything will be fine, because you typically make progress on your own journey anyway. And yeah, it's not very easy to not compare yourself to other people. Like I'll be the first to admit I'm not the greatest programmer ever, right? Like I'm not super young anymore. I'm like 41 at this point. And I have, you know, people coming in to work at our company who are, you know, half my age or maybe slightly above that. 20 somethings who are like clearly better coders than me. Like clearly better coders than me. And you just have to kind of go like, yeah, okay, that is cool. What am I thinking about doing here? I'm thinking about painting that, but it's clearly not the correct object that I'm using. Illusion has been shattered. I don't know what the illusion is, that I'm a good programmer. Is that what you mean? If that's the case, then yeah, sorry to tell you. I think my strength is that I'm very much a generalist. You know, I know a little bit of everything. I can take on almost any task. But there are always someone who, you know, in the next room or in the next chair sometimes who would be, you know, better at almost all of those tasks, right? That's not necessarily the person that knows how to do all of those tasks, but like some of those tasks they will most likely be better than me at doing. And so it's kind of difficult sometimes to, you know, get to grips with the fact that, like, yeah, this 20-something person here is clearly, like, clearly has a better grip of some things than me, even though I've been around the block a few more times, right? And the sooner you get to the grip with that, then or get to grips with that, then the easier your professional life will be, I would say. Okay. Right. Yeah, I think we're approaching done with this place here, right? So the next planned thing that I should do is to texture these guys, but I don't think that's gonna happen tonight. Yeah, I think I will have to leave that for another day, because I probably need to, you know, I can stream for a bit longer, but I can't quite get stream for long enough to actually, like, do any meaningful progress on this thing. So I think we're gonna leave that for another day. I am gonna do a little bit of scripting though still. So we're gonna keep going for like half an hour, 45 minutes or something, most likely. And we'll start with that mother scripting business thingy that I spoke about earlier. I am, however, gonna go get a glass of water. So, be right back. Alrighty then. Let's see. So, what I wanted to achieve was the fact that we have the scout here, that guy, and we have mother here, that guy. These are part of the mission, so, you know, these are not normally here when you just load into the level. Instead, you get spawned here with a vehicle at this holy hand grenade looking thing. Let's see. The mother here probably has a script to mission intro move. So, self append move to object, level object, mission Minerva vehicles, mother intro target. With fast speed and deactivating driving AI post movement set to false. So mother intro target would be here. Yeah, so that's that's the place she drives and then stops at. And we should make her drive to the gate essentially, probably like around here somewhere. Not quite up against Mrs. Florence. Oh! DH2 installing. You made me boot into Windows. Yeah. I mean... I don't know. I'm thinking of some suitable answer to that. Yeah, I'm not sorry for making you boot into Windows. Windows is... I don't know what Windows is. Windows is... I have a love-hate relationship with Windows. It's the only operating system I'm really productive in, so I have kind of a soft spot for it. I don't even know what it's not a soft spot. It's just like it's a spot. Right. Okay, we actually have a move to outside main gate. Outside main gate target. What is that? What is that thing? Okay, that is there. That is there. That's a little close, but we can probably move it. Thanks for the advice. You really motivated me. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Yeah, just keep doing what you feel like doing, and then if you do it long enough, then it'll be good. It'll be good. Jake says, join us on Arc. You know you want to. You know, I'm on Arc when I'm on the Steam Deck. That'll probably be it for me. I seriously don't get any satisfaction from like using different OSs these days. It's just like I don't fucking care. Like I just wanna do work and make things, you know, build things. I don't care about what operating system I'm using. Like yeah, I care that Windows is kind of shitty these days, right? Who doesn't? But like, if I'm using Linux, I'm probably using Linux Mint because it's as close to Windows as you can get, sort of with an out of the box OS. Just using Arch because Arch is supposed to be cool. Like, I don't care. I don't care. But I'm happy you guys like it. I don't have a problem with you doing your Arch thing. Let's see. Outside main gate target. Is this guy actually used anywhere? Copy full path. Let's put that on a thing. And then find. See, I don't have a find function in my mission file. Like, yes, you can filter for objects here. That's how you can find things. And I bet you could run a JQ editor script. Actually, let's try to write one here. Let's see. A certain type. I think that's probably like. If we write name here, and then we tell it, you know, select that object, right? Then we need to select something else, and then we run this. Yeah, you can see now it selected that object. Okay, so if we look at JQ string string contains. How do we do that? How does JQ's string contains work? Contains. Okay. Is that how it works? So for each object, return the name. Okay. So name. What? How do I point that at like at a field? Contains element. The filter contains will produce true if completely contained within the input. Maybe A string B is contained if string. Okay. Okay. Let's see. I was struggling to get stuff done on Windows now. I have Arch set up to be close to Windows. Okay, yeah, if that is the case, then sure. Sure. I mean, that is exactly my motivation of staying on Windows, is that I can get stuff done on Windows, right? And I could, you know, to a certain extent, I can get stuff done on Linux Mint as well. I can't really use my current tools on Linux Mint, though. And that does not just, you know, mean my own tools. I mean all of the tools that I use, you know, both my self-made stuff and third-party ones. So, right, but let's see. JQ select by name containing. Okay, select so dot key, and then pipe contains blah blah blah. Okay, let's see if that works. So if we do like name pipe contains, and then we do like, you know, monorail. We run that. Look at that. Now it selected all the things containing monorail things. So we have we have the track here. We have the stations. We have all of these and these waypoints. We have this station. We even have these. Why are these selected? Probably because their path contains lift monorail station. Pretty cool. So what I was gonna do here is I was gonna see outside main gate. Yeah, let's copy that guy and see, do we have any? We have just that one, right? If I deselect that and then run it, it should reselect it. Yeah, okay. So now we need to know. Look at the basis level here quickly. Yoink. Exposed property values. Might not actually work, but let's see. String blah 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 can't have their containment checked. Okay, well let's not turn this into a JQ stream, shall we? Because I can go down that rabbit hole for like hours and hours. I'm just gonna do a good old-fashioned search here. Right, so here's the what am I doing? Here's the mission file. We can see that, okay, this is the script that we looked at previously. Move to outside main gate. And there's the actual object, outside main gate target, and then that's just the relationship entry. Yeah, so it's not used anywhere except that. That means that we can move this here. No issues. Just put it there. And then don't go down the JQ rabbit hole. I've been down there many times. Yeah, it's pretty fun actually. I made some you know, I made some example scripts for myself here. So here's one that like run this in print mode, okay? Count game objects with a small scale. So you can do like, okay, we want all the objects that have a scale less than 0.5. We can run this. And it returns, okay, we have 23 of them. I can make this larger here. 23. Do we have any that are like super small? No, we don't have any of those. 25. No, we don't have any of those either. Do we have any that are like, you know, over 2? Probably a few. Yeah, 38. Things like that. Or you can select all the objects that have like a y coordinate above a certain thing. So you can do some pretty interesting things with this. Or select all the game objects, the name of which contain a substring. Well, this is oh, come on. I had it here. Yeah. So we can do the same thing here. Monorail. And it should again select those. Yeah, there we go. 120. Ah, so stupid. I just looked this up and it turns out I had it here as an example. Oh well. What that tells you is that I haven't messed around with JQ for some time. But anyway. So, we want Mother to drive to this thing when we have reached the junction trigger. And here you can see, here we have all the trigger areas. Or triggers, trigger volumes, shall we say, in the level. You can see we don't have actually that many. But a few. And this one here is the junction one. So let's flip this and let's see here. What do we have? Here we go, junction trigger area. Yeah, these should have an icon, but I think they're probably hidden. Yeah, there we go. Here's the icon for the trigger. So you will be probably hitting this automatically, right? Because there's the intro cinematic when the vehicles come driving along this road, and then you get sort of like blended into the like your camera blends to the driving camera. You can actually see this yellow spline here, which the camera is driving along when that happens. And I think you will probably actually hit this immediately. But maybe not. Let's put a print here. Let's go to the script editor instead. Player at junction. Let's put a print here. Print debug info. And just like a bunch of exclamation points there. And we'll export this. That tells us whether or not there's really any sort of chance of the player not really hitting that. I think it's gonna just roll there. Of course, like the player can choose to like drive off the road basically immediately, but we'll see. So we should get a bunch of exclamation points here in the lower right corner if we hit that, or when we hit that trigger area. The trigger area is like it's an object that like you can throw a bunch of triggers under. Yeah. Shut up. You can throw a bunch of objects under. It's sort of like a composite trigger, if you will. Oh, is it actually? Yeah, we hit it. Okay. So we're hitting it here. Okay. Well. It might still be a good idea to have it tied to that. Like if the player... Load the game here. If the player decides to just like drive around and do something funky... Then Mother should probably just hang around as well, right? And not drive off. And let's see. So if I do this, I just go driving off here to the side. We don't actually hit that until we get to probably around here. Oh yeah, we hit it. Yeah, we hit it several times if we just drive back and forth here. That's true. That's why we get that number there. Okay. Cool. So let's take that away, and we can send a message to Mother here at this point. Let's see, vehicles. It's right there. Mother. Oh yeah, that's just a script that actually kicks off the velocity there. Mission intro move. So let's have another message here. If message is move to lift station, then we do self append. We can probably do the same thing. We can reuse those from there. And whoop, do the same here, but we don't actually. What's the name of that thing? It's that one, right? Outside main gate target. Mission Minerva vehicles. Okay. Okay. Mother intro target. Outside main gate target. That's the name of it. Like that. Move to lift station. And then in the trigger area, send self send message. And the receiver is level objects mission Minerva vehicles Mother, and the message is that. Let's try that. Because it really doesn't make any sense that she's telling the player over the radio and that we're gonna go there, and then she just doesn't. Where is this? Yeah, here's the trigger for this thing. So the like, it's probably the, what is it called? Refinery surroundings, refinery, blah, blah, blah. Lift station trigger area. That's like that's inside the lift station. is what that is. Yeah, that's these really huge triggers there covering that. Okay. So where's the main gate? Basically this trigger area here. It's kind of tricky actually because I've hidden it. It's a bit silly. Refinery, intro camera animation, elevator, power cells. Player at the station secondary. Oh, here we go. Player at the station main gate trigger. Here it is. And once again, it is hidden. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So it's that one. And this thing is sending in a message to the Minerva mission control script, but only if the player is the single player avatar. Okay. So it handles both mother and the player arriving here, but only if you know arriving as the single player avatar object, so like the player's vehicle essentially. And what about the size of this now that we have this new cliff thingy here? I think it's probably pretty good still. Honestly. I don't know. It could be a little larger actually. Let's leave it as it is for now. I'm gonna export this and we can have a look-see. Move to lift station, and then mother had a handler for move to lift station. Yeah, that should be good. Let's try this. So yeah, we'll still want to actually either get rid of this that pillar completely or replace it with one of those
Here
new
we
ones.
are. Minerva lift station. Fastest way up to the plateau.
At least the elevator's still there. After you vet.
So now if we drive up to the side,
We'll be right behind you.
Mother should drive
Minerva station. This
to
is
where
Rowan
she did
Lance,
previously.
comms operator of cargo platform 34. Do you copy? No answer. Let's go have a look.
Now this is kind of annoying actually. I was thinking previously that like, okay, why does she actually drive off to the side there? And I realized when I looked at this that the waypoint is actually a little to the side. I don't know why. This one, mother intro target. Let's just move it off. Move it here to the center here. I hope I'm not breaking anything, and there was some good reason for having it there, but like she kind of drives off to the side here on the road and ends up at a weird angle. So I don't know why that was the thing, and she's done that for forever and ever. It's not a new thing.
Here we are. Minerva lift station. Fastest way up to the plateau.
At least the elevator's still there. After
Alright,
you
so
vet.
full handbrake.
We'll be right behind you. Minerva Station. This is Rowan Lance, comms operator of cargo platform 34. Do you copy? No answer. Let's go have a look.
Yeah, that's better. Still kind of drives up to that side a little bit, but that's fine. We can always adjust that. So now if we hit this thing, yeah, look at that. Now she's gonna let's see what happens. Does she just drive over us? No. No mother would do that, would they? And so she should be driving up to the main gate. And the script should not care because she is not the single player avatar currently. So you can just hang back and see all of that unfold. Yep, there we go. So now if we drive there, we should get the oh no, the thing is bad. The power is down.
Oh, looks like the power's out.
Someone's parked over there.
Yeah. We're not gonna go talk to her now though. Okay. Cool beans. Yeah, I need to get that cliff light mapped. And then I need to get that tower textured. And then I need to get the power pylon textured. But yeah, I think we're approaching actually like a finished level here, without anything necessarily needing modeling or designing per se. Like yeah, we still have that car there. It's not necessarily level specific, so that feels pretty good. And I also realized some time ago that this scout completely lacks any dirt painting, which it was a decision I made. But since then, I think I've changed my mind a little bit on that. You can see like quite a lot of dirt and crap on the mother vehicle. You can also see some on the gripper truck, so I think we should have a little bit of wear and tear on the Scout as well. Why not? Makes sense. I think there's even some of these cranes here, aren't there? No, I don't know, maybe not. That looks pretty clean actually. That looks pretty clean actually, but there is wear and tear on the actual body of the hull of the vehicle, if you will. So yeah. Pretty faint, but still. Okay, cool beans. I think we're done. I think we're done for today. We've been going over 3 hours, so I think that's pretty good. Pretty good place to call it a night. But
Another couple more questions for the documentary, if you have a minute.
Specified
yeah, so
question
this is one of
category.
those discussions that you can interrupt
Anything
by
stand out from your time with
driving close to this, for example.
Deep logs of all operational events. Hold that thought.
Yeah, hold that thought.
That's a lot of smoke. What happened over there?
turbo line blew. Looks recent. Whoa, the smoke stack is blocking the way.
So much for getting in that way.
I'm sure that you can find a way around.
Yeah, and if we drive here, we get another one of those vignettes. Oh no, actually, I don't think we get it. We don't get it yet. We'll eventually get it, but we need to progress the mission a little bit more to actually get it. There's one thing there that I want to look at, though. That we just drove past. Here. I think that looks fine in the editor. What does it look like in the game? This has happened a few times now that I'm like, okay, we're done for today, and then I find something and I'm like, hey, wait. I don't think this transition here is quite as nice as it is in the editor. Is it? Nah, it looks the same basically. Like the splat maps and all of that for the grass, it does get compressed at export time though, so there can be some actual like differences between the editor and the game every now and then. That is possible. Shouldn't be a whole lot of it though, but there can be some. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up very soon. So thank you to everyone who came to hang out today. This was a pretty fun stream to do. So what is going to happen in the very near future is that I'm working for my employer, and that's gonna take most of my time this week. And after this week, I'm going to get back to doing a whole lot of Traction Point. And then I'm sure there's going to be more streams and all of that as well. And pretty soon I'm going to have to release a new pre-alpha, and I say going to have to because I've been kind of meaning to do that for a pretty long time now, but for a number of reasons I put it off because I wanted to get more stuff into the next pre-alpha. But since I am planning on putting out the demo somewhat soon, I am going to have to put out the next pre-alpha so that we can test these things, right? Because of that, I want to have some people looking at the pre-alpha pretty soon. So if you want to play the pre-alpha when it comes out, do go check out Discord, and you can actually already play pre-alpha 3. You get access to the Steam playtest by joining the Discord. So do check that out if you want to play this game right now, basically. It's a pretty old build though, so it's a little different. Other than that, do join the YouTube channels, both the live stream one, which is this one, as well as the main one. And if you want to help out the game in particular, you should go and wishlist it on Steam. There should be links to all of these things in the description. There are also links to the stream page and the Discord in the chat. what else? I think that basically covers it. Anyway, have an excellent rest of your weekend, and see you in the next stream.